Imagine a thunderstorm rolling over a dark European forest. Lightning splits the sky. But what if I told you that, 1,000 years ago, people believed that lightning wasn't random? They believed it was a god hunting something. Not a monster, not a demon, but another god. A shapeshifter, a trickster, a ruler of hidden realms. His name was Veles. And once you understand who he was, you may never hear thunder the same way again. Because this wasn't just a story about the weather. It was a story about chaos and order, about power and rebellion, about a cosmic tension that never truly disappears. And almost no one in the modern Western world talks about it. If Norse mythology gave us Thor and Loki, and Greek mythology gave us Zeus and Hades, the Slavic world had its own epic pantheon, just as powerful, just as symbolic, but far less represented in movies and pop culture. And among those gods, Veles was one of the most complex. He wasn't simply a dark god. He wasn't a villain in the modern sense. He wasn't a hero either. He represented something older than those categories. To understand Veles, you have to picture early Eastern Europe, endless forests, wide rivers wrapped in mist, long harsh winters, small agricultural communities living close to the land. Nature wasn't a backdrop to their lives. It was alive, conscious, meaningful. The ancient Slavs imagined the universe as a great cosmic tree. At the top was the realm of the sky, light, thunder, authority. In the middle was the human world, and deep in the roots lay a hidden realm connected to ancestors and unseen forces. That lower realm belonged to Veles, but it was not a place of punishment. It was a realm of transition, of memory, of wisdom carried beyond ordinary sight. Veles stood at the boundary between worlds, between life and what comes after, between structure and uncertainty. And he was never limited to one form. Legends describe Veles as a master of transformation. He could appear as a serpent moving silently through tall grass, a massive bear in the forest, a wolf crossing snow at night, a powerful black bull with heavy horns. Sometimes he was imagined as a horned, long-bearded man, ancient, watchful, almost elemental. This deep connection to animals was not accidental. Veles was also the protector of livestock. In early agrarian societies, cattle were wealth. They were survival. They were social status. Protecting herds meant protecting the future of the community. So Veles was not only associated with hidden realms, he was directly connected to prosperity and everyday life. But his most famous story is about conflict. Opposite Veles stood the thunder god Perun, ruler of the sky associated with lightning, oak trees, and authority. Perun symbolized order, hierarchy, and visible power. Veles symbolized something different: movement, unpredictability, transformation. According to myth, Veles would rise from below and disrupt the order of the heavens. Sometimes he was said to take cattle, sometimes treasures, sometimes something even more symbolic, representing instability entering the structured world. In response, Perun would send lightning down from the sky. For ancient people, thunderstorms were not just weather systems. They were reflections of this cosmic tension. Each flash in the clouds was part of a larger narrative, the sky attempting to restore balance. But here's what makes this myth fascinating. The conflict never ends with total victory. Veles always escapes. He changes form. He slips into forests. He vanishes into rivers, caves, shadows. Eventually the storm passes. Balance returns, until the cycle begins again. This story mirrored the rhythm of nature itself. Dry seasons and rain, cold winters and fertile springs. It reflected a worldview where stability and disruption were both necessary. The Slavic imagination did not divide reality into absolute good and absolute evil. Instead, it emphasized balance, and Veles represented the part of existence that cannot be fully controlled. But there's another side to him that makes his role even more intriguing. Veles was also the patron of poets, musicians, and mystics known as vochos, spiritual figures, who preserved sacred knowledge and tradition. In Slavic culture, words were believed to hold real power. Songs were not just entertainment. Spoken formulas were not just poetry. They carried transformation, and that creative force was connected to Veles. In one of the oldest East Slavic epic traditions, a legendary poet is described as a descendant of Veles. That idea suggests something powerful. Artistic inspiration itself was seen as a gift from this god of hidden realms. So the same figure associated with shadow and mystery was also linked to imagination and storytelling, shadow and creativity, mystery and expression. When Christianity spread across Slavic lands around the 10th century, open worship of the old gods gradually faded. Sacred sites were transformed, traditions shifted, but myths rarely disappear completely. Elements of Veles survived in folklore, in forest spirits, shape-shifting beings, and guardian figures connected to animals and nature. Over time the name changed, the context evolved, but the archetype endured. And today, as interest in ancient mythologies grows again, Veles feels surprisingly modern. He doesn't fit neatly into simple categories. He doesn't represent destruction for its own sake. He represents change. In many ways, Veles mirrors something deeply human, the hidden side of our nature, the intuitive voice, the creative impulse, the unpredictable force that pushes transformation. If Perun symbolizes structure, authority, and clarity, Veles symbolizes evolution, instinct, and renewal. And maybe that's why this ancient story still resonates. Because life is not sustained by one force permanently defeating another. It survives through tension, through cycles, through the ongoing movement between stability and change. So the next time you hear thunder rolling across the sky, imagine an ancient forest in Eastern Europe, clouds gathering above, mist rising from the ground. High in the sky, lightning flashes. Somewhere below, something ancient shifts form and disappears into shadow. And the old story continues, just as it has for centuries.